now we're in the middle now of Beis Daled, and he's explaining why Yaakov has to wear his arms have to be seiros, they have to be like Esav hair. And then he'll explain later at the end of the Maamar why has to be wearing Esav's clothing. It's not enough that he's wearing the seiros. So the whole Maamar is explaining Veyiten ha'Elokim, that Yitzchak's bracha invokes Shem Elokim, which is strange. Brachas is chesed. You would expect Shem Havaya. And he explained at length the two levels at Atik, and Gevura the Atik is height and Chesed the Atik. And Yitzchak, that's the Shem Elokim we're speaking about over here, is Gevura the Atik, and that must come dafka in the way of seiros. That's what he's explaining to us. It cannot come directly. Like Ur Chayzer, this was a big part of the Maamar, Ur Chayzer and Ur Yosha, as it applies to Atik, to Tainug. There's two kinds of Tainug. A Tainug, both of them are pleasures and unexpected to a degree, and therefore they cause Tainug, like we just learned in Tanya now, recently, the last couple of days. The Tainug, Chaf Cheshvan, Chaf Aleph Cheshvan, Chaf Cheshvan. He speaks about Kesed, and of course the connection to the Rabbi Rashab, Tashgacha Prat, this incredible connection that we can see there. To the Rabbi Rashab's Yom Yoledes, Chaf and Chaf Aleph Cheshvan, those days, in Tanya, where he speaks about the Tainug that a person has when he has this discovery, this epiphany, an answer to a solution to a problem that he struggled with, and then boom, it illuminates the mind from the koyach hamaskil, and that's a tainug, a moment of tremendous tainug. So, but in this gufa, there's two levels of not expecting. There's two levels of tainug. The Moishe we gave, it was a long lost brother that you knew was alive, that you didn't know where, or you didn't even know he was alive. So if you knew he was alive and you suddenly find him, it's one level of tainug. That's Ur Yosha. That's in the marshal of Seichel, that would be that the person is struggling with an idea, and the answer that he gets solves the problem, but it isn't the greatest revolution. It solves the problem, it's also a tainug. But then if he has an insight that strikes from the koyach hamaskil, what causes it to ascend from this is really the rotz and the strong desire to understand a kolpanim. So when it's negir b'nefesh mamish, then he'll come up with these solutions. So if it's a solution, then that is not just an answer to this problem, but it's a revolution b'chlal, in to understand whatever the subject, physics, whatever the inyan is, or inyan nigla, or even in Chassidus, that's a much bigger tainug. And that tainug, if it's a seichel that's really rooted in something higher than seichel, which is, we're talking a likus, that's what it is, then it's Ur Chayzer, it's not this labish in the seichel mamish, it's forever the wow factor that remains forever. He found his brother that he didn't think even was alive. First of all, it's overwhelming. You could die from the news, literally. Could blow the circuits completely. But you have to be careful conveying such news, which I told you I was part of such a story. And even once it's heard, it remains forever. But this is impossible. Wow, the wow factor of how this changes everything going forward remains forever. That's Ur Chayzer. So that's the tainug that is the tainug, here's the nekudah. That is the tainug of Yitzchak. It's Ur Chayzer, because it cannot be mislabish in the keli. How's it mislabish in the keli, in consciousness? Only in the barest way. And that's seiros. You're hitting the nail on the head now. That's why Yitzchak bracha Yitzchak's bracha v'yitnach halikim, from the tainug, the deepest level of tainug. Gvura shebetainug cannot come in a way that's assimilated within the person, sits neatly and is understood and is boxed in. Cannot be boxed in because it's a tainug nifla. And therefore the seichel, the keli, can only have it in the way of meisres, of what? Of cyrus. But he said in one line in the Maimer, so if we're only getting a ha'ara, so what are we getting? We're not getting it. He's saying, no, that this ha'ara carries with it the whole tainug. Which means, as we explained, that whole gufa that he understands, that he cannot understand that herein lies, that it's be'etzem beyond seichel, herein lies the tainug nifla. Okay, I'm sorry you missed this beginning, because try and hear it later. Look in the middle of Eis, you have different page numbers, it's towards the end of Eis Daled, it's 2/3 down, it's a long Eis Daled, it starts on the previous page, and there's a line there in the middle, She'ima yois, we're 2/3 down. The line starts with the word dafke. She'ima yois, hayoisa moisri moichim belvad. Even though sidus are the residual of the brain, going through the whole tzimtzum of the skull, so it's only the merest ha'ara, where there's almost no life force expressed unless you tug on the hair, as he explained, but not when you cut it. But we also pointed out, he actually doesn't say that because, as I said, the nazir does feel the pain. He's a true nazir. He cannot cut it. He can't cut it. He said the true nazir is actually this kind of madrege where the sidus are suffused with the shayrish, and they're alive and sensitive. But akaponim for most.
Einstein.
What?
Einstein.
I don't know.
Didn't they say?
It's not about Einstein. It's about the Rogachover.
Sorry.
The Rogachover, they say it. But the Einstein, don't know if he had time. It could be. He certainly used his brain. I'm not going to. So it could be for him also. It wasn't true of Ben Gurion. That was for dramatic effect. So maybe he fancied himself a little bit of an Einstein, I don't know. Akoponim, so it can't come away, let's not get distracted and understand that it could here that it has to come in a way where the keli and this, where the keli cannot be makablet. That's the whole maila of it. But if it's only a ha'ara, so what have we gained? So you see, look at the powerful words here. Mikol Moke, again, the line starts with the dafke. Shema Yosem, Moishe, Mechim Levad, Hari Mitzad Goydel, Mailas Ha'ed, Bechinas Gvuras Da'atik. Hinegam, Bechinas HaMoises, Nimsheches Hashpa, Beriboy, Achais Beyoyse. When the level of Gvuras Da'atik is Nizgala, and that's what Yitzchak is doing, Vitnach Halikim, he's Megala it, so then even the sidus, it's not even, it's dafke the sidus, which means moisin. This cannot be assimilated neatly and boxed. It can't be. It has to come in a way of moisin, of residual, of sidus. But in the sidus is the riba yashpa. The tainug is expressed as we explained at the beginning of the shir. Let's continue from there. Now we started this already and we'll continue now. Binyan Bazeh. Now bring Yaakov into the picture, who's being the one that's being blessed. Did he finish this? Actually, maybe did the ice. We did. We did.
So sure. I'm not so sure. I think you finished.
We went almost to the bottom. So let's start again.
4 lines before the bottom. You stopped.
So let's get the whole flow and start again. Yaakov Omar Alatzmai. So Yitzchak, the players here. Yitzchak is benching Yaakov. Yitzchak is Gevurah Da'atik. So he wants every Yid to experience the Eibishter's essential tainug that he has in every Yid, which can only be experienced in the way of Chayze. Poshet, as we said the other day, you love me that much? If you can justify that, no, sure. Then, well, obviously we missed it, right? Right? Huh? Looking at me blankly. And Son just said, if we appreciate how much the Eibusher desires us, this is something we can assimilate in Seichel, sure, and justify and put into a neat box. Yeah. This is entitlement and earned and understood. Nisava Kadosh Baruch, which means you, is understood. At the end of the day. Is it? I'm asking. Nisava Kadosh Baruch is understood.
No.
No. That's Erchaizer. It's appreciated but can't be understood because it's fundamentally not understood. It's B'chiras ha'atzmos that he wants to, the Eibishter wants to be part of my little, flawed, to put it mildly, puny, wretched, and putrid life. Yep, that's what he wants. Erchaizer means that I'm hearing you, but it keeps on boom, boom, wow. As he says later in the next ois, and he teaches it Avodah, it's about Shuvah. Tzaddik, he's kind of earned his keep, he's earned his place. He's quite feels justified. But Shuvah doesn't feel justified, ever. I did this and you still took me back. You still want me. That's Erchaizer. That's the Sidus. What's the Sidus in the Mashal? Please tell me. What's the Sidus and what's the Moishe here? Hit the nail on the head and tell me what it is. In the scene I just described about Shuvah, the B'chlolis with the Eibishter. What's the Sidus here? This is the whole point you were trying to explain. What is it? Well, if you don't understand, I'm explaining it well then. No? The sidest part is this. It's only a ha'order. What's the ha'order here? I'm hearing this. It's entertained in my mind. That's where we know everything. But can I explain this? No. Is it justified? No. Does it make sense? No. What's the sidus here? As opposed to it's the same thing as Erchaizer. It means, yes, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing you, and I'm experiencing it. And I'm feeling your deep, essential delight, tainuk that the Eibishter has in me. But it's how am I taking this? Yeah, for sure, I understand, yeah, of course, what else? How else? No. It's there in my seichel in a way of a ha'orah. Erchaizer keeps on bouncing out, as it were, and I keep on, yes, but it's true. I can't believe it. It's constantly, I can't believe this. I constant can't believe it means that in the Sat Seichel, I'm experiencing this only as a ha'orah. Moishe, it's the residual of this reality, but I can't absorb it in Seichel and Midas. Again, the one who found his brother, he thought that was dead, and never makes peace with it. Like, yeah, sure. Every single moment, it's wow, wow, wow. He looks at him and he's bursts into tears every time he sees him, thinks about him. Or he's overcome with emotion, every time. In his mind, this is impossible. He died, he perished. In the story, actually, that we had with him, there was a plaque in one of the death camps of all the children that perished there, and his brother was on the as far as you're concerned, he was gone. And then one day, so this is forever. This is Erchayze, this is the Tainuk that he has here. Is a Tainuk Gvur is the Atik. This is exactly what it is. Are we clear now what the side is? So tell me in your own words, or my words. So what's the Moishe, the side? It's all to explain why Yitzchak's bracha can only come in a way of Yaakov wearing the sidus of Esav. So when we get to Yaakov is higher than both of them, but anyway, that comes in a minute. So far, so what's the sidus? What does it mean? Give me some words. English. McGill student didn't hear me speak. He's going to hear you talk. You talk now. Talk to him. Explain to him. What does it mean? Zog.
The Cyrus is his gewalt, that he can't completely fully understand what's happening. I mean, it's a high madriga. There's something there. Something comes through that he could put into some words, but there's no feeling like a limp.
Yeah, but
in the muscle here.
It's more than something comes through. I'll stress this part now. In the marshal, is he hugging his brother?
Which part? Of it? When he sees him, yeah.
Yeah, he's found him.
Yeah.
He thought he would perish, and then they're reunited. So, is he having this incredible delight and tainug? Is he having it in the greatest way? Never then.
But it's still
Mitzad the seichel and internalize and make peace with it, and it now just becomes ordinary and natural, never. But we need to emphasize here we're not compromising the truth of the connection. Adarab, that's the whole point of it. That's what Yitzchak is being bamshich. But we should know that this connection to the Eibishter at this level is something that you can't assimilate in the seichel. Again, the Baal Tshuva, I did this, and you still want me. Never makes peace with that. Never should. Never can.
It's the opposite of Yaakov's nature. Yaakov is the tzaddik, who it all is settled. This is something where it's pulling him outside of himself.
Well, we're going to get to Yaakov in a second. Don't try and second guess Yaakov. The Maimon is going to tell us what Yaakov is. Okay? Actually, what you're talking about is Avram. Avram is a Yosher, and Chesed Nimshech. It's really Avram.
But it's the difference between Yaakov and Esav. Yaakov wearing Esav's garments is that wild, passionate, crazy love beyond. No?
Yeah, okay, nice, but let's see what the Maimon says. He's about to tell us now the union of Yaakov. Not quite that, but that is Yaakov's wearing Esau's clothing in general is the neshama, as the neshama emerges mitzad ishtalshalus, its first place of identity is atzilus, elamatikon, so and neshama therefore is cerebral, dominated by chachma and bina. So the neshama has to access the craziness of Nefesh Bahamis is rooted in Toihu, which is Esav. It's a different language, and it's not. It's the same general thing. That's what you're referring to. But let's put that aside because it's not how it's being laid out here. Once we've understood it here, then we can compare it, the Yaakov and Esav dynamic as explained elsewhere, which you're talking about. All right, so let's continue now. Vinyan Bezeh. I mean, it is the general lineage that this is what Yitzchak is wants to do. He wants to channel the Toyo, it is the Toyo which are gvuradik, which is why it's not, everything implodes there, and it's chaotic, but he wants to channel that and give that and grant that to Yaakov, Dafke, Lamata, and Elam Hazeh. and to channel that craziness to make the world a diddle is barach. It's really the. Okay, let's leave it at the end of the maimon and then compare the language. It's all metaphoric language, and how it all is jives. But there's a nuance and profundity that we need to grasp here. So let's go. Yaakov said on himself, he says this to Rivka, right? But the father will touch me, and so it's a giveaway, for I'm smooth of skin. Vahaino, which is the opposite to Esav, who is full of hair. Haino shemidose shel Yaakov midas hatiferes. So Yaakov, again, we're talking till now, Avram and Yitzchak. Yitzchak is Gvura Datik and Avram is Chesed Datik. And Yitzchak is higher. Gvura is Geshamim. This is a hemshech from the Maimon of Simchas Torah, which she says, she pointed out earlier. Dafke Gvura is Geshamim. But that's all who Avram and Yitzchak. What about Yaakov? So he's Midas Hatiferes. So he is in the central shaft. Right? So referring to the Mishkan, the boards were connected top with hooks, interlocking. What's the term of the Mishkan? Meir. They put out the Adonim at the bottom, and in the top there were also
rings they put on.
Is what are they called? No. Okay.
Climb?
Huh?
Climb? No.
No, the climb. No, that's the mesh fence. Okay. Akoponim. So the boards were connected top and bottom, but then there was a central shaft that went through the center. There were holes in the boards, and this shaft, like a snake, that's the most that's used, is a board that went through and literally through the center of it and united all of the boards through the center.
What's the marker for that?
Not
Rashi
visible.
It's not so clear in Rashi that it goes all the way around, right?
I'm trying to remember. Navriach min hakotze, lakotze means from one end to the other end. That's what it means, from edge to edge. That's the pasuk says. Let's look at the Rashi again. But so the top is Chesed, and the bottom, or it could be actually the top could be Yaakov, and Avram. The bottom could be Yitzchak. But in general, the top connection is Avram. The bottom one is Yitzchak, and the center one that unites them all. Because the other hooks just connect the adjacent board. But what connects everything from the top to the bottom is dafka, the central shaft. That's Yaakov. Midas hatiferes. Hu b'kavim tzoi shemavriach men hakotze lakotze. Okay, this is a sugya shleima in Chassidus. Obviously, hundreds of maimarim, if not thousands, that deal with the inyan of Tiferes and the mid of Yaakov and what this means. And why the mid of Tiferes is rooted in the essence and therefore can connect the highest and the lowest equally on their level. I'm just going to say in Avodah, the difference between Avram, just to understand Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and just using these words will help us understand how it is, and that is. So Avram is all what? Give me the word, just to describe Avram, he's all what?
Chesed.
He's all chesed. He's the nicest guy in the world. Chesed, giver. Yitzchak is what?
Gevurah.
Some English words. Gevurah is what? What does Gevurah mean? Midas adin.
Rigor.
Huh?
Severity.
Okay. So in their relationships with people, how would they come across? Yitzchak, Avram as what?
Calculate.
You judge.
Huh? Avram would be what?
Generous.
Generosity, giving, hashpah.
Yeah, everybody, doors open, everybody come in, yeah, no questions asked, everybody's welcome. And Yitzchak,
It's withholding, calculating.
Introvert.
nobody.
Exacting.
You have to earn your way. You have to. If you don't earn it, you don't give up. If you don't invest in this, you have no place here. And what's Yaakov? What's Tiferes?
It's Rahman is even the one who doesn't. You figure out why he could.
Yeah.
The one who doesn't deserve, you figure why he could.
Yeah. So adding one word which is the nekuda of Yaakov, and that is which need Avram Yitzchak have. True empathy. Empathy. Avram and Yitzchak are on their place, and he gives you, or he doesn't give you. He says, "You want it? Come get it. I'll give it to you." Avram says, "You don't have to come get it. I'll give it. I'll bring it to you." It's about them. It's their nature. Hashpa, midas hadin, midas hachesed. Min hakotze la'kotze. The reason that Yaakov, mitos shlema, despite the fact that he had different children, all of them more or less, no one's perfect, mitos shlema, because empathetic. He gets down to the level and feels what you're feeling, and therefore works with you. Therefore, it's Rahmanas, and works with you. It's got to be your work, but works with you, and then knows when to hold and when to give, so that it's your avodah. At the same time, it's obviously it's chesed because he's helping you. There's elements of everything, but the key word is empathy. It's midas ha'emes. Midas ha'emes is there's redeeming. There's truth at every level. You just got to get down to it and understand it. Every level has its truth. That's Yaakov, and that's the ultimate educator. Avram produces the spoiled child, Ishmael. Yitzchak produces the angry child, Esav. And Yaakov, more or less, not perfect, but halavai, shiftei ka, they're okay. Why? Because midas ha'emes. Midas ha'emes means empathy. And that's rooted, he's going to say, in the etzem mamash. That's the expression of the essence. Because the essence is everywhere. The essence is in everything. Nobody's written on or off. Everybody's equally be'etzim, be'pnimi is be'etzim, everybody has a shaykhis. You got to find the nekuda and work with the person. So Bemis is higher than both of them. So what does he need Yitzchak for? What's the shayla we've got to deal with here? Finish. Avram did his thing, Yitzchak his thing, and that's all achana for. It works this way really in childbearing, in rearing. At the beginning, when your child is young, you have to be Avram. You have to be Avram. Pure chesed, there's no demands at all. The age of 2, at least from the kid's perspective, they hate you because it's all gevura. And there's got to be, there's no room for empathy there because the kid does not respond to this. Just, you can't do this, finish, go to bed. And you can say it nicely, but there's rules and it's not negotiable. Then it gets older already, there's dialogue, there's discussion. It's already Yaakov. This is part of the necessary stages in life. And there's many manifestations of that. It's got to go through these processes. The first chesed, gevur, and only then can come to Tiferes. If the Tiferes comes right away, it's not going to work, and it's foolish. The kind of a person also that way. The first has to be pure, that's ava, and getting finished.
The same way with having only chesed.
Huh?
The same way with only having chesed. That's how you mess up the kids also.
That's what I'm saying. If we're going to stay with chesed, you're going to end up with Yishmael. If you're going to stay with gevura, you're going to end up with an Esav. Indulged child, entitled, spoiled child, that's Yishmael. An angry child, that's Esav. So you've got to move. As a kid gets older, you've got to adapt and move from the Avram to the Yitzchak, then to the Yaakov stage. That's what we're saying. But I'm saying zesting also, it's not just in bringing up children. In Mekadev some, it's also that way. Beginning is chesed, and then, you put down some rules of here. And then Tiferes, then it's a mature stage already. There can be a dialogue, an empathy, and a real engaged discussion. Akol panim. All right, so we'll continue this tomorrow. Today's story.
Why don't you just end it? Why don't you just end it off already? And do the story tomorrow.
What'd you say?
Why don't you just continue?
Till the end of the ice, it won't do justice. They're going to rush it. I can read another line. It's already what? What time is it?
52.
Yeah. Well, the story we have to finish at the 5-2. Okay. Chaim, you're the first to say we don't have to cover ground. We have to, right? We have to try and understand it.
That's what I meant. You don't have to have a story. That's pshat.
Not following you, what?
Don't have to cover ground. That means you don't have to tell your story today. Just finish the inyan.
Oh, don't say the story. I'm not going to finish the inyan. I can read it. Okay, next few words. Okay, we just said, Yaakov Amar Alatz Mevanich Ish Chalak. He's smooth. V'hainish Midasa Shel Yaakov Mitat Tiferes. He's Tiferes. Ubekavim Tzoy. He's actually higher than because he's the central shaft. Shem Avrich Min Hakotze Lakotze. Just by the way, not by the way, the Kavim Tzoy is what? Is a home. This is the message for a home. You have to have Avram, you have Yitzchak, and you have to have the Kavim Tzoy. In that order. That's how you make your home a Mishkan. That's how you bring up your children. It also relates to husband and wife. Also, this is these in Yonim, but in a different way. Different expression. At any rate, the Nimtza, Shemitzat Shorshoy, is important now tomorrow to be developed. His Shoyrish is Lamaila Gam Avram Yitzchak. V'hainu, the Mailam B'chinas Chesed, the Gevura Shebetainug. The Mailam Achilik the Yashar Verchaizer. Why? Because he is the Etzem essence. He embodies, expresses the essence. The Kudas Emes and the Kudas Atzmi. Shobchinas Atzmos HaShefa Shebemashbiyah. This is the essence of the Ashba. But Shlei Nimshach Adayin Lamata, Yaakov cannot, he needs Yitzchak, cannot access it Lamata Ad Sheyumshach Gam Meisri HaShefa Ade B'chinas Saidos. It has to come through Saidos, the union of Esav. What you say the words now? V'zer Sheyaakov Yish Chalak, he's smooth, the Loi Saidos. Shal Yodam Yumshach Meisri HaShefa. But it's the Saidos through which the Meisri HaShefa will be drawn down. Again, let's revisit that, try and understand the words properly, to the best of our ability tomorrow. Let me see what the story was. We have a minute. Even if I even chose one, mind you. Okay, we'll leave it till tomorrow. It's a very cute story. Cute. With the Ramah told by the famous Chassid of Shmuel Kaslaver. It's a story with a profound message, so we'll leave it for tomorrow. Okay. A wonderful day, Psuras Tovas.
Thank you.